Hello, friends. It's me, Cynthia,
And Azalea, hello, and Marty.
and we are Green Girl Studios, and this is our Sunday Magic Hour. So we had a little bit of a delay early on, just because we were linking some items for the live sale today, and we figured it out. So it's all good. It's all good times. We have a few things that we got in Tucson and a kit that I've been sitting on for a minute that we've been dreaming up. Azalea put it together today and it looks really good. This cat, I think I've trained him so that he will come up here when it's a live time because I've been giving him, look, I just have to reach over. And then look at him.
Dang, he's big and strong.
He's been training. You can see by his strength of his paws that this cat is not, even though he's acting like he's never been fed before and like carrying on. I mean, like, you'd think he'd never had a chewer before. Hello, my friends. Hello, Jody. Hello, Jody. I'm going to give him a little taste of
How big
this.
his paws are.
Lord have mercy. So cute. Here, use my arm as a brace, Mommy, so you can. I know this cat acts like he's never been fed before. It's unreal. Hello, Nilda. Good to see you today. And she says, hi, Marty. Hello, cutie. He is a cutie. He's one of my all-time most face the camera, be sweet. Okay, let's take a break for a minute before you accidentally bite my hand. So all week I've been prepping for the GBE, which is coming up. We have preview night on Friday. We have our slot on Sunday. So if you're not familiar, can you turn that down a little bit? I got it, Ashley. A new song. We listen to some of the stuff that's like healing vibes on YouTube and on Spotify. I listen to them all the time. And it's supposed to be like frequencies that cause your cellular structure to regenerate, apparently. It's kind of relaxing. I don't know if it's relaxing or annoying. Well, who knows. Hello, Liz. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Pat. Hello, my friends. Hello, Deborah. Oh, good. Deborah says, hello, ladies. I received my skull button and my gift card. They are beautiful. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. All right. What was I saying? So,
how do we look?
Know? Okay, everybody, give us a heads up or a thumbs up if it looks good. We're on a new thing, Restream. You've heard us talk about it before. It's the other version of another. It's like StreamYard, but less
not
expensive.
so freaking.
And they're not feuding with Facebook.
Fingers.
So.
Grubby green.
Hello, Cecilia. Hello, my friends. Thank you all for joining us here. We have a fun little activity tonight. I'm going to do something fast and furious. There's an earring style that I used to make all the time, and it's one that it's so easy, and it's a good one if you do markets. We do markets occasionally. We have one coming up at the end of April. So after our TGBE, if you don't know what that is, it's a full weekend starting Friday night and going over till Saturday and Sunday all day, where there are a bunch of businesses like myself that are doing tutorials and having kits. And, it's a lot of fun. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes we have guest stars, and we've had some pretty amazing people show live on our TGBE. So it's a pretty fun event. There's this group is pretty big. There's like 12,000 people in this group. So when we stream to it, it's pretty exciting because a lot of people tune in. And it just has an energy like kind of like the old bead show feeling, because there's an excitement that we've been prepping for several weeks, getting ready and, putting beads into piles. What we're planning on doing is doing a D-stash. We did it last time, and it was a lot of fun. We put together, I have so many beads, and we were cleaning out areas in the basement, and I unearthed stuff that I forgot I had, which is not surprising because if it's in a box and it's covered, it's a good chance I'm going to forget it even exists. And, it's unfortunate. Like, I hate that I do that, but at the same time, it's kind of good because then it's like Christmas. I forgot that I bought it. And so we put together And we're currently going through and like unearthing things that we didn't even know we had. So it'll be a nice way to get some unusual beads and add to your collection. It's kind of fun to do that. All right, I see Connie. Hello, Connie. Hello, Wendy. Wendy says, Marty is like, just give me the food. Yes. Jeanette says, hello, everyone from Maryland. Yes, hello. We are streaming live from Asheville, North Carolina. And we had a wonderful kind of not hot day. Yesterday it was hot. I went on a bike ride, and it was so warm. It was like 87 degrees. I couldn't hardly believe it before noon. So anyway, I spent a lot of the last week working on packaging. Now, I say last week, but what I really should say is several months. It's several months of working on this. Here's one. Now, you probably remember seeing it was like a watercolor gouache. And so what this is a background. I'm not going to paint individually one per bead because that's kind of like, you'd never make any money because this already took me probably a day. I worked on it all day. And so, I would go in layers. I'm using black watercolor paper from Legion. It's like fabric practically. And let's see. Is this the one that matches it? No, this is not the matching one. The one that matches this is this one. And so Jen and I from Cherry Tree, y'all know Jen. You see her hands all the time on Pinterest ads. And you see those ads from Cherry Tree and there's like action happening. Those are Jen's fingers. She's making it in there. She's a wonderful person, and she helped me realize these pieces. So this is a stone heart. I carved the original, and they used a 3D scanner to scan it, get all the details, and then we're making more. So this is the pink oak or pink quartz, and it's going to go on this. So it has that dark to really make that pop. And so I thought it looked good. I might shrink this down for this. I'm not sure. I'm going to flip the camera and show you some other things. Oh, thank you, Caroline. Hello. I see Tina. Hello, Tina. Tina says, did you get my email? Maybe I did. I would love to tell y'all that I'm 100% fantastic at being on top of my email, but I check my email like, I don't want to say sporadically because it's not sporadic. I check it every day. But if it comes in at a certain time after I've checked it during the day, then I'll get to it to the next day. All right, I'm getting ready to switch this over. All right, this is. Wendy says it's like nonstop pouring rain here. That turned out so cool. Carol says the watercolors came out beautiful. Thank you. Oh, I see Robin. Hello, Robin. Thank you. This is what am I trying to say? Watercolor and gouache. So let me just take this out because that is not doing me any favors. I use these trays. They're like baking trays to kind of wrangle my work, and then I slide them onto the baking tray, and it works really well. So let me spread these out. I don't need this for now. I'm going to spread these out so you guys can see what's happening. Maybe I'll do them in order. You can tell I worked really hard on these. I spent a lot of time. Check out all the work on this. That took forever, by the way. And one of the things I like to do is get a really kind of cool granulated texture with the watercolors. It's pretty neat. And then look at this one. I'm really ultra happy with this. You know what? They might be a tiny bit busy. But what I'll do is either make it a little bit smaller, because everything now you could just put it in Photoshop or in Procreate and get, let me see. That one goes with this one. Let's see. What did this one go with? Here. black labradorite. Look how cool that looks. So these are the ones we chose. We had a bunch of choices for stones. This was part of it. And you know what? I love this, but I know my customers, and since this is synthetic opaline or opal, it's glass, basically glass. I knew people would be like, I like it, but so we didn't choose this. This is just a personal collection. But wouldn't that be good on this dark one? Look how good this would look on there. It's like magic. Oh, hello, Clem. Clem, my friend. Yeah, I love that. That's going to be mine because, I don't know. You have to order a certain amount and you have to buy enough rough. So if you're going to go through the whole rigmarole, you want to make sure people are going to like it and you're not going to be sitting on it for like 1,000 years. That is not the goal. So that's the black labradorite. Check this one out. This is the Amazonite. This is the one. I believe I made a necklace. I took off the necklace so I could take pictures of it. And I thought it looked good with this. It's kind of an Asheville. Gumnut says they're beautiful, but what are you using them for? I don't understand the purpose of them. So, okay, I'm going to show you. All right. I'm going to have, so this is a gal I have a couple of her pieces. This is the brand. This is a local brand. And I package my things, but my packaging, I don't have one handy, is a little bit boring. So I thought I would maximize it. You know what I mean? So this is typical necklace packaging. So you can order these from, not this exactly. I mean the paper itself. This is cardstock. I have a printer in town that can cut them for me. And then you can get little things to, if you want it to be punched here, you can get custom, or you can have them folded. So the packaging itself, you want to make something that looks nice, that's sturdy enough to be in a gallery situation. And so you can just imagine, this is the tag. So it's going to have a hole here to put on a, what do you call that thing? What is that rack called? A rack. Jewelry rack, in a store. Point of sale. This one, this is the Green Aventurine. I think this came out. This one was well worth the getting a bunch of them. Melanie says those are really amazing and will be great backdrops for jewelry. And Carolyn says the images would translate to printmaking. I love printmaking. That might be a tiny bit busy, but you know what? I can also go in with Photoshop and tone it down, but I think it looks good. So you can just imagine it's going to be attached to the card with like a piece of not Fireline, like Softlex or something, and a hole, and maybe GreenGirlStudios at the top, or maybe at the bottom. I made these a little bit tight on the edge. Usually you're not supposed to do that because you don't want to print right to the edge. So what I'll do is scale it down a hair. But I was just playing with it and seeing what would happen. So this pink one, the rose quartz. Oh, Clem says, I received lovely treasure in the mail this week. Thank you. I'm so glad you like it. Makes me happy. Look how cute. That's why, when you get the 3D scanner, you can make them very similar. Gumnut says, oh, so you paint one and then print more, or do you hand paint each one? Oh, no. I cannot do that for each one. I'd be like, these would have to be like $200 because this takes hours and hours to paint these. This one doesn't go with this one. This one goes with this one. So I got a lot of texture. I used granulating pigments from Daniel Smith. You probably recognize if you do watercolor. So a granulating pigment is one that separates when it hits water. There's a lot of there's a water dispersal, and so they make little patterns. And so from the patterns, I look at it and I'm like, what does that look like? Wow, that looks like moss, like thyme, that the herb. And so I made wild thyme through here, and that's how it would look. So this is the pink rose quartz, and this one I was particularly happy with. Got that cool, it kind of looks like rust or a nebula, but the black labradorite looks really good on that background. And so you can see, okay, the last one, here's the other one. The black labradorite in the moon face. Isn't that killer? My God, it looks so good.
Sorry.
Yeah, doesn't that look good? Right there on that. So the clouds. And so this one, I might make this a tiny bit smaller or trim it so that it's like this. Or maybe like this. I haven't decided. I'll decide it tonight. And then I think one of the most successful ones is this red jasper. It's a really good grounding stone, and the rough is so sweet. Look how good that was. It was like a really smooth, beautiful color. And when I'm talking about rough, I'm talking about this is rough. This is rough lapis. Or no, soda light. This is lapis right here. And it comes like this. I didn't do anything to it. It came like that. Crazy. And originally I bought this to make lapis lazuli paint. I just never could not bring myself to take this nodule and grind it down. Plus, it's really easy to bruise. You can mess it up real easy. I had a piece of chrysocolla over there. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. But yeah, the moon faces, we chose these. This is another one that was a possibility. But I don't know. It's okay. I didn't choose this one for the run. So we made samples, and these are the finals, I think, that we picked. And they'll be coming soon. I have to put the text on in Photoshop and then have these printed. Our friend has a print shop in town. Joanne's partner, Rocky, he's going to help us get these printed. So it's going to be exciting. It's all local businesses getting together to make this happen. So this is what I've been doing for the last few days. I'm really happy with them. Look at this. This is like, I kind of made a bunch of broken trees because this stone for Amazonite is kind of a healing stone. And I thought, who needs the healing? Asheville does. So that's why I did that. So it's kind of like one of the places that I like to walk. And I don't know if you can see the details, but it's a lot of broken trees. Everything's coming back, but these will have a really good price point too. So I'm excited to offer this. One of them we're going to try and do. This one, we're going to do a kit with some other beads because I think this is going to be the most popular one. So we're going to add some more what am I trying to say? A nice mix, I guess. So the frog and the moon, how big are they? I got a ruler right here. So let me see. This thing is so shiny, it's hard to read the numbers. So the frog is about, let's see, where's the tail end of that? Almost 1.5 inches, I would say. Looks like that to me. Very close, 1.5 inches. And look at the size of that. So this, it would be, Liz says, I love them. I really like your paintings. It would be nice to have a print of them. Oh, nice. Maybe I'll have some prints made. That's a good idea. Wendy says, would love to see that 3D printer working on stone. Do you have to polish them after, I'm assuming? Love to see the print. So the 3D printer, this is the 3D, what we do is you have like, all right, here we go. So here's a master. This one broke a long time ago. I made this in college. And it was a doll. And it was made out of Sculpey. You can see it's a couple different layers of Sculpey, or polymer clay. So what you do is you have your master. Pretend this is the master. So instead of making a mold of the piece, which is what you would do to cast another version of it in metal, right? So that you could make pewter. These are scanned with a 3D scanner. And what it does is it goes by millimeters and it scans the whole surface. Like a little bitty laser goes over the whole surface and maps it out. And once it's done, it can take then, you put your stone in another that's hooked up to it. And you can have several of them going. It's really high tech. Like I don't have the equipment to do this myself. And so wherever the line that has been created, like the outline and the depth, all of the details are captured in the 3D scan. So the other machine is kind of like, if you've ever seen a woodworking machine that will, like it turns with, like it's spinning, but it's similar to that, except this isn't spinning. The tool, it's like a Dremel tool, would be going across and like mapping the surface and removing little bits at a time to reveal the sculpture. That's why they're all very similar. You can see that the details, see that? Similar, but then hand polished. So you have some variation. There's a little bit, but like as far as size and their faces, they're very similar. There's slight variations, but minimal. Anyway, that's what I've been doing, and I feel like it's pretty fun. Mac's been doing a lot of 3D printing. He's making a doll for me. We downloaded the STL file. It took me a minute to remember that. So these are coming soon. We have to get them to the printer and have some made. That shouldn't take very long. And I made a story to go with it, so you can read the full story on the Cherry Tree website when these launch. So that's coming soon. Something to look forward to, right? I'm very excited. Oh, I forgot to measure the moon. The moon has the hole is running top to bottom here. Yeah, look at that piece. Isn't that good? I love it. So this one measures, yeah, let's see, just about maybe 1.25 inches, a little bit less. And the thickness, so there's also, I tried to get as much detail of the moon's surface on the dark side. So it's kind of, this was a fun piece to carve. And it's, there's a lot of stone moons. I know it's not like that unique, but I just thought my rendition would be different enough where it'd be worth getting. So these are coming soon within, I'm not sure how, as fast as I can get these printed, I guess, and the text done. I'm hoping very soon. I almost forgot. So this is another one. So these are just in almost done stage. I need to go in with some more details. But this is for necklaces as well. And you can see this is further along than this one. I kind of wanted to make like a heart-shaped, sort of like moss ball. And so it'd be like, just picture the necklace. Maybe I'll do, what do I have over here? What is it, my darling? My son.
Oh, he's hanging out.
Yeah, he's just chilling. Oh, here's a necklace from a long time ago. This has nothing to do with anything. It's an anchoy. That you just, I don't know. I wouldn't put this on it because this is like point of sale. You just picture it's going to have like the, I guess this is not a good one to do. To demonstrate. I want to demonstrate properly. You get the idea. Just here, picture it. Sarah says, these are great and with such thoughtful, beautiful packaging. Thank you. I'm trying my best. I would really like these to sell well. Wendy says, I must say I'm constantly amazed by your talent, Cynthia. Thank you. I hope that people like them enough to be like, oh, I went to Asheville and I got you this pendant. It's made in Asheville. So this is the one that's most furthest along. And you just picture GreenGirlStudios at the top of like either a hole and then some, information about how it's made here in town, handcrafted. And then this other one. This is not as further along. But you can see this is how I start all of them, with a shape, and I let that granulation of the watercolors separate and make patterns. And then you know what? It's like it does itself. Then you just go in there and detail. You just go in and add some fun little, whatever you can think of. Like here, it's like roots dripping down. And then like, maybe this is like an air, like near a pond. Maybe it's like pond water, You never know what's going to happen. So anyway, that was what, that's my two. I'm going to finish these up. All right, now for our little tutorial. I'm going to get cracking on this because I did not leave a lot of time for myself. I never do. But, you know how it is when you have so many things that you like to do. So this is a kit that Azalea made that we've been saving the beads up for. Here it is. It's called Strawberry Milk. Check these out. I got these in
I have
Tucson.
a link for that.
These are hand carved. I know that I get a little wild with the pink opal, but check this out. Look at this. Let's get in there tight so you can see it good. Maybe I'll go in. Let me see. It's kind of, I picked lower saturation, but I don't know. Let me get in there with a zoom so you can see it. This is how pretty these are. So they're drilled. They got a nice, Wendy, these have a nice big hole. Check it. On both sides. So the best part is you could actually do that where if you made a crochet necklace, which originally I was going to do this for crochet necklace, but then I thought, you know what? It doesn't have to be. You could do pretty much any kind of string, and there's no limit. I'll just show you how these are strung so you can get a good idea. So yeah, wire fits through there. Look at that. A lot of good detail. They're beautifully carved. They're all a little bit different. Wendy says, drink. Yep. Get on it. You can have some mocktail, strawberry milk. That's what this thing is called. You can make a ring, go in there and do some seed beads. You could do like that one Japanese artist that does the skulls, but with a rose, a pink opal rose. So that's in there. Let me get in there and show what else is happening. I'm going to dump it out.
This is my personal favorite right now since it's so pink.
So I bought a lot of, let me get in there even tighter. Camel, get in there. All right, get your hand out of there, Thorn. Right, maybe I can show that, and it shows it a little bit. But there's a lot of good stuff. These are vintage, probably older than vintage now, those pearls. Check them out. There's a scoopful. Here's a mouthful. There is, if you like antique seed beads, I have that going on, and they're kind of opaly. They are a little bit different every time you get a strand of them. They're close in color, but you can see these are the pinks. That's also the pinks right next to it. So there's a little bit of variation in color. They're not all the same. And they're kind of wonky. So if you were to do, yeah, look, this one's a bigger one. And they're all a little bit, they're handmade, so they're like tiny little lamp work. It's very charming. What's good about those, all right, I'm going to back up the truck a little bit. Okay, so what's good about it, Wendy says, I'm not a huge pink person, but those flowers are special. Yeah, there's let's see, is there 6 in this?
Oh yeah, there's 6 flowers.
So you could actually make 3 pairs of earrings, and look, there's a little bit different. Like that one is a little bit, I don't know if you can see it. It's a little more juicy, a little translucency. I thought they were shell at first, but then I was like, wait, pink opal is better than shell, because sometimes shell can dry out, I've noticed, and that's not wonderful when that happens, because I have some shell beads that just don't look that good anymore. They need to be polished or something. So there's also, let's scoop up some more. Opal, the pink opal. There is moonstone, like a peachy pink moonstone. There is pink tourmaline. That's these little square or kind of cube shape right there, faceted cube. And what else do we have here?
There's a bunch of different types of African glass. And
yeah, the African glass.
Rose quartz.
And then hand carved rose quartz.
Yep.
So this would make a good, like, you can make earrings with that. You easily make earrings, and that's what I think we're going to do. So I'm going to show you some earring making with this set. Okay, can you make this thing go away? Because it's taken up, I think it's probably making these things real small. Oh, Mary says, I love that granular look with watercolors. Yeah, if you like that, pick up the Core. I think it's made by Golden. It's QOR, and they have a new granulating set, and it's pretty good. How do I get rid of this?
You have to go to QR codes and deselect it. I just figured it would be useful.
Yeah, but it just makes it real small. Can you just drop a link too?
Well, the link goes away. The link disappears in the
like
chat.
In here.
Yeah, that's what I just said. The link goes away.
Oh, dang.
It fades out and gets buried.
Or we could show it again if we need to. What happened to the, there it is, I found the chat. All right, perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make the simplest, fastest, easiest earring in the whole world, I think. It's actually probably not that fast, but, you know, fast-ish. You're going to love it. Maybe you're going to love it. I don't know. We'll see. This is going to include, this is another one for crimps, so get ready to watch me smash and ruin some crimps. Hey, I shouldn't pre-tell that, because, you know, you never know what might happen. I am not going to use my fanciest soft flex here. I'm going to find one that's not as, like my really good stuff. Why'd you kick me? You could, in theory, oops, some of the stuff has fallen. You could use, I have a bunch of different colors. Oh, that's pretty. I got this color. Let's use it. All right, so the breakdown of what this is I'm going to make a loop like this, and I'm going to crimp it, right? You could, in theory, do this number like this, but this is getting tricky. It gets real tricky when you add another loop. So you put the crimp here at the top, make your loop, and then your beads will, your earring will hide the crimp. So I'll show you how that's done. It's pretty satisfying. You could also say you make it, I don't want to put these on, I'm going to save those for later. Maybe I want to put it like, you could actually do it like this. Oops. And look, what? Medium? Hi there. Hello there, bead hole. I know, it's always like, nice. So one thing I like to do, this is so perfect for crochet necklace right here. All right, maybe I want a little bit smaller to fit that. So I don't want that, I don't want it to be showing so much because it's a little stiff. I want something a little bit finer. You want something that will move, be a little more fluid. This would work real good because it's like so clear. Like not clear, but you know what I mean, it's like transparent. So put your crimp on first. I'm not going to cut it off with the spool just yet. And I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a pattern. You know how I like to make piles. And one way you can do that, I have a little tool. It's so fun to use it. It's like I feel like a pharmacist with this. So I'm going to go back and get in here and get in a little bit tighter, just a hair, so you can really see it. Although it kind of feels like, I don't know, does that feel like it's not in focus? Is that in focus? Maybe it is. It's like hard to tell. I like doing this number right here. So one thing, this is kind of fun, is you can take your colors that you want and scrape them out. And I probably need like 2 inches. I might do mixed. Mixed might be fun because this is kind of a mixed bead. Okay, so I want to put these guys, maybe 3. I could put 1 at the bottom, 2 there, so it hangs at the bottom. But I feel like I would like this to hang this way, like a drop. This could be added to one of those threader earrings, if you've ever used those. So I want to start with some of these real big hole beads because they will hide the crimp area. You know, when you're getting ready to tuck in the wires, you don't want to have real small beads because that is a real nuisance to get that to fit. You know, when we were in Tucson, we pointed out several instances where we were like, you know what, I'm glad we got those pearls when we did, these little pink pearls, because when we were looking at them in Tucson, we found them for like $12, $13 a strand wholesale. and they weren't even as luminous. Like these, they have a dye on them, but they're real pale pink. And I tried to remove the dye to see if I could, because sometimes they're not dyed well, and the stuff will just come off on your clothes. We've all had this trauma happen to us at one point or another, and it's mortifying, when someone says, "Oh, ooh, it looks like there's something on your neck." Like if you were sweating and your necklace started to like run the color. That particularly happens with rubies. My mom bought a strand probably 15 years ago. She was so proud of these rubies. And I thought, man, you only paid how much for those? And she's like, yeah, they're such a good deal. And I was like, wow. And they said they're legit. And she's like, oh, they're totally legit. And she wore it to church. And, she lives in Florida. And it got hot. And she likes to wear white shirts. And those rubies stained the neck of her. I need to put my glasses on. I don't know why. I'm actually 2 feet away in my face. Not 2 feet, but however far away. And I actually did not put glasses on like a weirdo. How am I supposed to see it? I use my tool to get them to dig them. There's no pattern here. This is kind of random pattern. And this is one of the things, I like to use this like it's a needle, and it seems to go faster. So check what that looks like. I need more. When I have my optovisors, I'm much faster. So I can really see what I'm doing. Oh, Sam, hello. He says family. Hello, my other son. Would be my Marty's my son. Max is my son. That's several sons. Oop. Sometimes when you do that, they can flick though, so you don't want them to flick. Anyway, my mom had the mortification of wearing a strand of rubies, and her friend, maybe her frenemy, she talks nice about this friend, but she also says, like kind of competing a little bit. Her friend was like, oh, what happened? And it gave my mom PTSD with rubies. And so after that, I bought a light, and I think you guys have seen my light, where you can check it and see if it has the presence of chromium. And if it doesn't, it's probably something else or dyed. Sometimes they'll take pink tourmaline and dye it, or garnets or something, But those, if they are, they'll look like, they call it pigeon blood rubies from Burma. And the real thing will have a glow. I'll show it here in a second.
You guys want to see something cool?
Yeah, let's bring it over. Let's look at it.
Look, this is satisfying.
Oh, poke it in there. Let's see. It's on the website, folks.
Look at all of these. Laying them down. They're all getting. I've just packed them all up. Isn't that so satisfying? Little tins.
No, Wendy.
Beads.
Oh yes. Yeah, they're beautiful. Look, check it out, friends. That's a good deal right in there. Good times. It comes in this pack. This is how we package it. So it's less plastic. We'll put a little padding in there so they don't rattle. But that's pretty full. You get a lot of beads in there. I mean, look at all this cheddar. Look at all that.
We have a total of 12 of them.
So there are 12. I don't have any more of these beads. That's it. We don't
have the fixings to make any more.
So I had some emails come in saying, hey, did you have any more of this? Sometimes we'll make a certain amount. Because, you can't buy everything when you're at the show.
Sometimes you look for the stuff you got the year before and it's not there.
Yeah.
It's not easy to find everything all the time. Sometimes it's not there the second year.
I'm going for those same ones. I need to mix and match. So that's what I have so far. Now let's check it. Now, do we want to have one that's a double strand? So here's why you want a thinner. So this could work if you're only going to do one layer. But this, if you do it with very, very fine, the fine stuff, you can do 2 layers. And what I mean by that is you could go like this, and this is kind of fun. you could go through, pull tight, right? Not too tight. You want to have room to feed in some more. So I'm going to feed in like another 2 inches. All right, so then you're left with this, and then you can try to go, let me see. I made these before. Usually I do one layer like this, crimp it, and tuck my ends in, and that's the earring. You could even get away with doing, if you have the right earring, if it has a big enough loop. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Where are those earring wires? Over here. I get these from Rio. You got to get a lot though to get the, it's wholesale. So this is what I was talking about. If your bail, that spot is wide enough, you can get away with putting another round. So you can stop there, crimp it, tuck in the ends, and then put in it on a hook, and you have a little round. You could put in another drop, and that's pretty fun. But I'm going to be experimental for a second, and I'm going to do another round just to see what happens. Because it's kind of fun just to be experimental. Oh, maybe I'll put one of those. So when you're going in, you want to go, when you do the second round, see how I want kind of big there? Better if you have some smaller ones that will match it. But it's also good to have a little bit bigger hole so your thread can, or the end of your cord or your line can get through there, and it's not like forcing it through and having frustration. I added a little bit more than I need just so it's not so difficult. Hey, hand me some of that stuff that we also put on the website so I could show it in case I run out of time, because it's already at the 42 mark. It's like, I don't know how the time goes so fast. It's like I just started. Man, when we're doing the GBE, it's like so difficult to
show the
stay
first
on
one.
top.
One of them.
So this is on the our trunk show page.
Conveniently linked.
Chrysocolla.
Yeah, that QR code that you can scan with your phone camera takes you to that listing on the website, by the way. I love that chunky chrysocolla. It looks like candy. I want to bite it.
Yeah, it's fun. This is an easy stone to carve. It's pretty soft.
What would you do with that?
Well, I love these, and I think they would make good earrings, just like that. Like that one right there. Maybe with this one.
What would you pair it with?
Silver, like this. Just one. Maybe even. Oh, hey, I got that. Let me see if I got that light over here. Where's that light? Thank you. All right, so we took this to Tucson, and this is not the side. The UV light. So it tells you if your rubies are legit. So rubies will, I don't know if you can see this, but they shine. Like in my light, they're like hot pink. Hot pink. This light it's kind of, I dropped the saturation so it wasn't so like eye popping. But here's pink tourmaline. These are pink tourmaline. And doesn't do anything. Doesn't fluoresce. You see? You get that, it's like white. This means ruby. Where's some more ruby? Let's see what else I have to show. Is this a ruby?
That big old chunk of dunk?
Yeah, because this is
oh yeah, it's glowing on the edges.
Well, it's not like super good quality because it's like, look at
this one. This is the star ruby, right? Would that work?
No, this is not. So really? See, this is not a ruby, this is lepidolite, and you could tell the difference. See that? No orange glow. Not ruby. Looks like a star ruby, not a star ruby. Here's what else do I have that I can show that's not. Oh. See how that's like a ruby and fuchsite right there? That's a little bit of ruby. That pink tourmaline. So it's not going to glow. So anyway, the chrysocolla will also not glow. But this is good. This is a good good one for earrings. Since we're talking about earrings, this one, of course, this is a good. Look how beautiful these are. These are high grade sunstone. They're so glittery. So a lot of times stones are priced by the color, which is this is very good. It's very saturated sunstone. Because sometimes you get it and it's like, and I love this, by the way. I'm using this as an example of not saturated, but I love it. It's kind of washed out, but it has a lot of, like they call it the schiller or chatoyance. And that, see, it's not as, this is not as expensive as this for obvious reasons. Which is going to be more expensive? The one that has more fire. These are really fiery. They have a nice hole size. These are good too. It's just not as good. Look, the quality.
Oh
when
yeah,
you're
you
looking
showed
at
the
colors,
rubies and it's still on chrysocolla. Hold on.
Sorry.
Here's the rubies. Yeah, sorry. You shifted and then I didn't switch it. But those are so perfectly pink.
This is one, we split the strand. We sold these by the strand during Tucson times, and we sold them, and I kept a few back. I had a few emails asking if we would split them. So we split this into 5 ways. I did it in such a way where it was all equal, where you got the amount you got was enough of I split it very meticulously. Ask Azalea, it took me forever.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like to sell them whole strand, obviously, because then I don't charge for me doing that. So those are the 3 new ones. We put them on the site because why did we do that? Just to change it up. We had a few people watch replay and was asking about it. So
I put it on the website when I don't want to do lot sale invoice sending, because sometimes it can be a little bit of a pain to do the invoices.
Yeah, invoices can be tricky because sometimes if they sit, then you don't have they're spoken for, but you don't get the money for it, and so it can be kind of if you got bills to pay, it can be kind of stressful.
Basically, what happens is that people claim them, and I take them down, so then nobody else can buy it because it's been claimed. But then it sits in somebody's inbox for like 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, don't do that, folks. It just makes it makes it very difficult for us to pay our bills.
Or my personal favorite is when I, sometimes people will show up after I thought, okay, I guess maybe this person doesn't want it. So I go and I sell it, and then the person goes and sees it, and then they go and pay that invoice. It's like, okay, wait. I thought you didn't want it. It gets a little bit messy. So that's why it's a little bit easier for me to put stuff on the website.
So there'll be occasions when we do both, because there's customers that like the fun of lots, and then there's some that can't make the live shows, and it's nice to be able to get something if you're not on.
Fair.
It just seems fair. So this is how easy this is. So you have the 2, basically a loop out, then you go in like this, go through. I'm going to go through some of these other big hole beads on this side. Grab your beverage. And it even works better, say, if you have them kind of contrasty a little bit, like if this were a different color. But I think it looks pretty. Let me trim that down. Oops. I'm going to make sure it's tight. I'm hanging on to it. I did not cut from the thing yet. So this is a tricky spot. So you can get, let me see where I have those. I'm going to go in with these guys. I don't know where these are from. Doesn't matter. And I'm going to try and crimp this without breaking the seed beads. So you just hang on to the open side. The open side's right here, or you could put on one of these guys. If you don't, if your fingers, your kind of butter fingers, you could put that on there. Keep it from coming apart. And so you just keep both sides tight like this. And it doesn't matter if it's flipping up because you can flip that thing down when it's time to put the ear wire. I've made these plenty times, and you just fudge it with the ear wire. You can kind of just pinch it closed. So I'm going to get in there and try not to break. Oh, did I do it? Yes. I know. It's like, is crimping really that difficult, Thornton? No, it's not. But I tend to break them when I'm close to, so sometimes I'll use metal beads. It's like a little trick. This is not 100% tight. It's real close, but there might be a little bit of play in there, a little tiny bit. So now I have a little bit here that's like extra. All I have to do is trim. I'm going to trim about this long. I'm going to trim this one. Maybe I'll trim it. Oh, that's a pearl there, so I'm going to trim that tight. Maybe I can get that to fit in there. What these need? I wonder if I can sharpen them. So you just push these guys in through these big hole beads. This is what's good for putting those there. They could be those tie, but I think these look good, like opaly. I love them. I use them all the time in my jewelry. I've been using them for years and years. They're some of my favorites. Okay. You know where I made a mistake? Look how I put that little moonstone right there. Why did I do that? That has a small bead hole. It fits this, but I wanted it to go through more than just one bead. It's not going to matter so much because you're going to have it as an earring, and it's not going to be something that you're going to have that's close to the skin. Okay, so now trim the extra off. And then you kind of do this. All right, then you put these guys on. You go sideways. Never like this. Always like this. See how I did that? Always like that. Then you put that thing right there. Straighten it out. And there you go. That's a little earring for you. Isn't that cute? So that's a good mix. It's a good, that doesn't have the fancier things in there, the hand carved rose quartz or the pink opal, but you have the other things which make it kind of delightful. So let me see what I have here. See the, oh, I need that again. Chat, word chat. Go and see what folks are saying. Oh, this is such beautiful stones. How big are those holes? They're juicy. Yes. Yes, Wendy. Yes, they are. Oh, I see some. That sunstone is gorgeous, says Karen. Yes. Oh, yes. It is fun. It's very fun to do. All right. So that's one. That's one method. And you can see that probably took me not that long to do it all. And one other thing is if you want it to be just one layer, you could do one layer. You could go in with pretty much any kind of seed beads. But I'll tell you, my favorite ones to do this with that I've done are these guys. And these are old, and I've made these earrings. This was full. So that's indicator. So these I picked off of something, and put them in with, you can see how old this strand is. But look how those are real wonky. And that's the same thing. They almost look faceted. And these guys are kind of roughly. But it's the same kind of organic shape. So it's kind of like cobblestones or something. You could, of course, use regular seed beads. Like, do I even have any over here? I know I do. These are the gold vermeil. These are some super old. I don't know where those are from. Don't remember anymore. But a lot of times, you know what I do? I have a bead soup. And I'll make that bead. This is probably, I don't even want to think about how much money is in this. How heavy. That's a very heavy. That's a ton of beads in there. And I'll make earrings from this. And I won't even look. And I'll just do it like this. And they're kind of similar in color. Or the colors are all like they work together, right? So you could, in theory, bring yourself, if you're on a trip, you're going somewhere, and you want to make some jewelry, you can just go in and bring yourself one of these little kits, and look how much is in there. If you were to make a crochet necklace with this, you would have plenty to do 3 or 4, by the way that I show in my instructions on the website. 3 or 4 at least, I would say. You know what? I kind of like doing that, scooping these up. That's not a surprise to anybody. All right. That's pretty good. Oh, I'm at the 56-minute mark. Nice. All right, my friends. So here's what we made. I made this earring. I'm going to make some more, I think. But that was a fast, easy. If you get some that you want to use the kind of soft flex that is pretty fine and bendy, so you could get a twist. If you want to do this, of course, I've made this as a necklace with wire. I've done it with. So if you don't have jewelry wire, you could easily get away with using silver, and then you just wire wrap it. You just wire wrap that thing closed. Or you could dangle something from this middle, something like, let's see, one of those. How would that look? There's one of Anne Gardin's bead caps. Aren't they juicy? So you could tuck one of those in. It's almost like making a frame. So think of it that way. So you could make it any length. So if you added more beads, you would get a bigger loop. You could put a small crimp in. And by crimp, I mean you can bend it and then have it a teardrop shape. You know, I've changed the shape of these by adding a dangle. One of the things that's fun to do is, let me see where. What am I doing here? Where is it going? Here we go. This is from another earring I was making. So I like to do I'll make a bunch of these and have them in a pile. But maybe not this color with this, but you get the idea. Something with a head pin, and you could go in and tuck it at the bottom. See what I mean? How pretty that would be. Or you could go in from the top. And it's the same thing. So if your loop for the earring is pretty wide, like this one, it could fit and accommodate one more element, like this could easily get in there and add. Not that I would use this color. I think I'd probably use something clear, or maybe something extra juicy, like, check these out, it's pretty. Like, that's a good use of that. If you've got some fancy, expensive opals, that's a good use, because you don't want to put them on, you want to put them where they're going to be seen. You know, I don't think they should go in something that they're not going to be showcased. So this kit is $50. This is a necklace I made, and this is probably, you can see when you space them, like, it's not that much. I'll put a line of beads and use my little it's like for a pharmacist, and I'll make a little line like this. I'll show it again since I have no problem doing this all day long. I like to do this, and sometimes if I'm feeling ultra, finicky, I will color block them. You've seen me do that. Where I'll line up things and do little blocks of the same kind of texture, but I'll make sure that I don't just put like all the heaviest stuff on one side. You do it in blocks, so you can go in a pattern, or you can go one at a time. There's a lot that you can do, and see this is what I'm talking about, color blocking right here. See, all of this Prazio light is lined up, and then I lined up these teeny tiny itty bitty faceted turquoise. It's crazy. And then randomly throw in one of these. This is a Hawkeye. Like this is, I'm fighting for the name of this. It was a strange stone. I got it from Sona. They often have unusual stones. Sapphires. This is a really beautiful, I don't know what that is. Kind of like a quartz, but maybe topaz. But you can see you don't need that many beads to make one of these necklaces, and there's a lot of bang for your buck as far as, the longer you make it, the wider you'll make this. And so I will usually, for my neck, and to make one that's about 22 inches long, maybe 24, you could spread it out, and I'll do a line that will maybe go around my neck. Let me measure my neck. I think 10 inches is what I usually do. And that's enough if I do several stitches. And it's like this. This is what I'm talking about stitches. So that's like 1, 2, 3. So there's 3 in between each one of these. Obviously, if you put, like I spaced them out here and put them at like 4 or 5. But it gives it a nice light look, and it's a good way to showcase if you got some fancy beads that you don't want to just put. Like these are really expensive, and it kind of feels like when you're wearing it and you turn it around and around and you look at all the different beads on, it's kind of fun to see the collection. All right, I'm at the hour mark. Let's see. I'm going to flip this around. How do I get rid of this again? Show me how. Or do I just click out? Oh, I see. All right, I'll go back over. Oh, I don't mean to push Spotify. I'll back out of the Zoom. Perfect. Oh, and one more thing. If you missed it on, what's today? Sunday? On Wednesday, this is coming soon. I'm going to try and have some of these to debut this Sunday. This one's silver, but I feel like I love how this came out. Like that bear, I was really worried that it would be not that cute, but this one has a little tiny air bubble, and it looks like an apple is balanced on his head. But look at his face. It's so adorable. And then there's the little owl hanging out. And it looks like there's like apples all around him. Could be under an apple tree. And then it says, "The mountains are calling." And then I did some little carvings of trees. So this was my Asheville homage to Asheville and like, my love for this town. So anyway, that's what that is. All right, I see some things. Oh, let's see. I see some more comments come in. Oh, we're working on it. We're working on. C. Gray says, "Hello, watching for the next casting for the P2 of the new branch rings and the branch link for a crochet necklace I'm working on." Yeah, these guys, I want to make some more, but they're kind of finicky. So these are all the stuff that came out of the last batch that I designed to go as a crochet toggle, I guess. Like that's a button, and that's one. This is good for a treasure necklace. So these are coming soon. Get ready to see them on our next event. The TGBE took me a second to remember what I was doing. This is, if you know our friend Anne Gardan, she has these gorgeous bead caps. We're working on a kit. I'm going to put this with it, I think. I think this looks the best. Look at that. It has a hole here check it, and a hole here. So you could do it this way, or you could do it like this, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, that's all my little charms that are coming soon. Look at that little, this is my favorite thing that I made recently. This is not new. I don't know why I put that in there. This is new. Look at his little feet. Oh, so cute. So if it flips, this, you wrap your thread around, or your cord around that tail, so it functions as a button. How cute. Nice and small. All right, my friends, I'm going to flip this camera around. All right, move that out of the way. Oh, my cat. Marty, have a taste of it. He's going to work for a living. Here he goes.
He's up.
He's up. He's ready. So tender. So delightful. He does this thing. Look, he puts his whole mouth on it, and he does like a drag back. Like he bites far in and then drags it back. He acts like he's never had anything to eat in his life. He does. Okay, that's... We'll get the rest of it. I don't want you to bite me. He doesn't bite hard.
He is big.
He is big. He's a big boy. Oh, thank you. And Thea says, I like your scoop. Yeah, that's my pharmacy scoop. That's what I call that. I have a lot of scoops. I rather enjoy scooping beads, but that's a surprise to no one. It's kind of satisfying to fill little containers. He's acting like I got this kitty. All right, my friends, thank you for joining us. We're hunting now for a new method to do the giveaway, because we don't have a giveaway tool.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. I don't want to pay like $40 a month just to do the giveaway tool.
That's not even an exaggeration. The only giveaway tool that I found that would work with this was literally $40 a month.
Yeah, as I always told me, she's like, it's $40.
I did research and I had to switch over.
I don't like that
and
story.
I was like, hey man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not great. All right, my friends, don't forget this Friday is the TGBE preview night. You can check it out and see. We're all going to be on one screen. It's kind of like a big party. And that is, usually it's 8 o'clock on a Friday night. So if you're around, tune in, see what we're doing. It's fun. It's you never know what you're going to see. Well, you're going to see us, the Kate Richburg, Abby Berta, the crowd, Sarah, all our friends from Soft Looks. It's good times. All right, my friends, we are going to go get something to eat. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We really appreciate it, and we love you out there. If you have a moment and you feel like sharing any of our social media, if you want to follow us, or even better, subscribe on our YouTube. It's free. We don't jam pack it with a bunch of weird stuff, and it'll really help us get our numbers up so that we can one day be like some of our friends who are
Jill,
that are doing wonderful with YouTube. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you on Wednesday.
bye.
Bye-bye. Actually, I don't know. Maybe that's the night we're going to go on that